Hey everyone, welcome to the Mirai Crusade raid. Now, this team I'm running here is the easiest team that I could figure out to do this boss with. It's actually a very difficult boss on the hardest difficulty. I haven't really looked at bosses on the lower difficulties, but I wanted to try to do hell difficulty with as many units that are relatively easy to access as possible. So let's get into it. Right, so first off, Mirai's attack pattern. Now she'll attack the second unit in the row in the middle lane. Okay, the middle lane is the one that they'll target first, and then second unit in that lane from the right, and then she does an AOE around them as well. So of course, make sure that no one's standing within that range, and then she will also skip her first turn. So she basically charges like a heavy unit. And therefore she only attacks every second turn. And then when she does attack, she will dispel any strengthening effects on your unit. However, if you don't have a strengthening effect on your unit, then she will do like true damage and one-shot your unit basically, right? So you need to buff your tank units with something, right? Like a heal or whatever, armor, etc. And I'll go over that once I show the team as well. So that's one thing you have to prepare for. And then it's a mobility boss, so you want to be bringing an anti-dodge unit. You can actually use Bolina, but it's a bit more intensive on your requirements, right? I'll go over that as well because I'll show you multiple teams that you can use. And after the first time she takes damage, she'll gain a lot of damage. A dodge damage reduction, right? And that will, if you're running like something like Bolina, it will significantly cut down the amount of damage you're dealing. And then she does like true damage once she is below 40%. Like most bosses will have something like this. But this shouldn't kill your team, at least. So that's the skills summarized as much as I can. Like this, I guess there's a lot going on, but that's the most important things that you need to know. Now, for the team lineup, we're using Mizo to buff Farnese, right? Because Farnese is going to be eating some hits. I put Momoka here on the second spot. It's not as relevant if you're running a tank, but it's going to be more relevant in some of the other teams that I'll show. But Momoka can take a hit as well, so if Momoka has to take a hit, then she can delay it for a couple of turns, right? Because the boss is charging up, and on the first time it attacks, Momoka will negate the damage, and she won't die. Then we have all the buffers, right? You're buffing your DPS. I want to show you that this is doable on multiple different types of DPS, and I'll sort of discuss the skill requirements and for that. Okay. Now we're going to have Franca buffing Momoka to splash onto your DPS. This is Dorothy swimsuit from the part 1 of the summer event. Now I tried not to use her, but I couldn't really find a replacement for her aside from Nay, and Nay is even more difficult to get. So Dorothy is the only difficult unit in this team, right? I'm hoping that most people that are still playing and trying to do Hell mode do already have a Dorothy, because she's pretty important for future bosses probably as well. But she will be splashing her buff onto Fleur. Now Fleur is over limit, and you do need the over limit for the crit damage. If you don't have over limit, then I don't know who will be a replacement for Fleur. You basically need another crit damage buffer. You probably have to fit in either Zhao Wu or Avadi or something like that. But Fleur is reasonably easy to access, and hopefully anyone who cares about Crusade by now should have an over limit. And then she will buff Maybelle. Maybelle might be a bit replaceable with Tina, but Maybelle is definitely much better with these sort of DPS that scale off crit damage. So Maybelle will then obviously target your DPS. And that is pretty much the team. I can't fit a knife unit here because it's just difficult to place, and there's not much else I would really run at the moment for this team that is budget friendly anyway. But this is as budget friendly as I could get. Unfortunately, I did try to use units like Skadi and Her Majesty, but I just couldn't get a team for hell with those units. They just don't do enough damage. And this boss is basically a DPS check. Basically, for a lot of these units, you kind of need them to be at a certain skill rank to do enough damage to like actually kill the boss. Now, my Charlissa, I have down ranked her to rank 3, and it is doable at rank 3. Right. So, but obviously, if you have higher ranks, then she'll be even better. I will now show you the run. I'll probably just skip after a little bit of it, so you can see a little bit what's going on. And then, yeah, we'll skip it to show you the score, and I'll show you how the other units stack up against Charlissa and everyone else. Okay, so this is pretty much the first rotation, right? It does about 43k, 42k, and you have a few turns because the boss is charging up as well, right? So now I'll just skip from here because it's pretty much rinse and repeat, nothing too special. And you can see here we've got the kill score, so it is a kill, right? One thing to mention: all of my DPS are running maximum attack cores, right? So it's fully translated everything on attack percent and flat attack, very standard for all DPS, right? That's just the basic requirement. You only need one set, so I think that's doable by now if you're trying to do hell anyway. You should at least have one good DPS set. All right, now I can swap in Precio here. At rank 4, it's doable here. I tried to do it at lower ranks, but unfortunately it didn't do enough damage. Maybe if you have Nay in your team, then you could maybe get away with a lower skill rank Precio. But rank 4 for this team will work. Right, so I'm going to skip here to show you the end score. Okay, you see we got the kill, and it's a much higher score here, right? But to be fair, Charlissa probably would do much better with rank 5 as well. But at rank 3, it is doable at least. So if you're on a budget, you can do rank 3 Charlissa. Okay, and the other unit that I have that is anti-dodge is Cynthia, who is also able to do it. However, her requirements are more annoying. Now, I actually don't have a very high rank Cynthia. My rank is only rank 3. That's the max I have. I think this is the bare minimum anyway, but you need over limit 60 or maybe 30 might be doable, or even maybe over limit 1. You just have at least have to unlock the over limit because it gives you a significant amount of attack percent. But if you can get her to over limit 60, it will make it much easier. Right? So she's rank 3. I think if you don't have over limit, then you would need to rank her up more. Probably rank 5, maybe higher. I can't tell you for sure because I just don't have the books for her. But a rank 3 with over limit 60, she does work. And I'll show you here. Okay, so it gets a kill and it's doable here, right? So the requirements are worse than Charlissa, because Charlissa only needs rank 3 as well, but doesn't need an over limit. And they both have a very similar score. Now, most people will probably have Bolina, the long-term players, and most people will probably even rely on using Bolina as well. So I have a team for you if you do have Bolina. However, the requirements are much higher, okay, as I said before. So I'll show you here. Okay, so this is the Bolina team. You don't actually need the tank specifically, but you do need Nay. And ideally, you want Nay to be rank 10. Probably doable with rank 5. I didn't actually try it, but you could try it if you're on a budget. But ideally, I think rank 10 is good for long term anyway if you do have a Nay. Unfortunately, if you started after the Chain Soldier collab, you won't be able to access Nay. That's why I try to avoid, using her in teams for these like budget teams. But for those who want to use Bolina, you have to use Nay to reduce the dodge damage reduction. That's the main thing that she's here for, is reducing that damage reduction. This will, for one, on the first turn, it makes Bolina do significant amount more damage, right? And on the following turn, because the boss has so much dodge damage reduction after your first attack, Bolina won't do any more damage unless you have Nay to reduce the dodge damage reduction. However, if you have a rank 10 Bolina, I think you probably can actually just one-shot the boss, right? But if you're trying to do more damage though, it's not recommended to do like a one-shot, because you're not overkilling the boss, and therefore your score is going to be very low. If you only care about just getting the kill, that's fine. You can overkill with a rank 10, but rank 4 is like the bare minimum with this team, right? And it's pretty easy to access. Like I think anyone who has a Bolina probably would have gotten her to rank 4 at least by now for most bosses. And yeah, this is doable here. Now I'm going to show the fight just because I want to show you how much damage she does. Right, she actually does a lot of damage on the first attack. But after that, she won't do as much because of the dodge damage reduction. But with this setup, she does get it quite low at least, which is quite good for overkilling. Okay, so she almost like one shots it at rank 4. That's why with rank 10 you can probably just straight out one shot her. And with rank 10, maybe you don't need Nay as badly, right? You could maybe get away with a rank 5 Nay or something. And now this is the overkill. But the overkill is not going to be that high due to it's a mobility boss, not a resistance boss. And that is the score for Bolina. Now, for a slightly more advanced team, what if you have Nay combined with the dodge damage reduction, like the anti-dodge units? Then of course it works pretty well, and it's even better than obviously much better than the previous team with Farnese. It's actually a lot easier because you don't have to run a tank. Because the tank kind of grieves you a little bit because you're hitting the boss and proccing like the buff skill like for herself. So the team with Nay is pretty much similar to the Bolina team, but I did save one just in case here. Right. Just take note, compared to the original team with Farnese, the positions change a little bit because you need to put Nay next to your DPS. And of course, you have to have a support in place of where Farnese was originally. Now, using Precio here with Nay, we'll skip and show the score. Actually, I think this is slightly less than without Nay in the original team, but I think it should be better with the other units. And also, skill ranks do matter. The scaling might be better if you have a higher ranked Precio than I do. I'll just show you the other couple of dodge units just to give a bit of a comparison. This is with the same skill ranks. So as I said, with the if you have higher skill ranks invested before, then this will be you're going to get different scores, right? So we'll skip here with Charlissa, and yeah, this is about 7k. 70k higher than the non-Nay team, and then finally we'll do one with Cynthia. Now, if your units aren't as progressive as this, it should still work in the lower difficulties. So you could do something similar there. The requirements obviously won't be as high because the boss doesn't have as much health, and I think that some of the abilities are scaled down as well. Alright, so we'll put in Cynthia for the final comparison. and we'll skip here. Actually, this didn't kill, surprisingly. Actually, I'm unsure why that's the case. I didn't really check it. So yeah, apparently not using Nay is better for Cynthia. Who would have thought? But yeah, that is all the teams I wanted to show. So hopefully you have one of those teams that you can use for Hell if you can. Otherwise, just do like insane difficulty or whatever. If you can do at least do expert, that is good enough to get all the rewards, I believe. And insane should get you all the rewards in maybe 3 days, I think. Expert, you have to do like the whole week of attempts, and Hell, you'll get it in like 1 day, pretty much, if you can do it. Or maybe 2, actually, because the scores are a bit lower than usual, so maybe you do need 2 days. And I think maybe Insane actually needs a few more than that. But yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. So I hope that is helpful. I will come out with another video soon once I figure out my highest damage team. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.